Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation. So, finally, the Power Rangers movie is here. Based on the hit show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that came out in the year 1993, a show that became a huge hit with kids, a blend of a very kid-friendly Saved by the Bell and action footage from a similar Japanese show called Super Sentai. Silly, over the top, corny, and very kiddie, Power Rangers is still going on TV, always making new fans out of young kids, and like 90s kids, grow up being adults who nostalgically look back fondly on the show and continue to be fans today. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. The best way I can describe it is it's fun. I grew up as a kid in the 90s, so I do have a strong childhood memory to the original show and some nostalgia, but Power Rangers isn't something I took with me as I got older. I can look back on it fondly as an adult, but I really don't care as much as I did as I was a kid. But I will say the closer we got to the movie, the more and more excited I got for this. I even went back and actually watched some of the episodes from the original series. And I'm glad I did because I realized that this new movie is based on the names and characters of that first season. And I did like this movie, but I can totally see why it wouldn't be for everyone. It's not like a great movie, but it is fun, and I think that hardcore fans of the series will be pleased with it for the most part. Others might not be so impressed, and one reason is I really feel like this movie tries to blend a new, somewhat grittier, more serious, a little more realistic version, but still keeping with the spirit of the original show. Personally, I thought they did a pretty good job executing that, and that's surprising because this seems like a hard mix to pull off. The story, I think it works for the most part. It starts off with these teenagers from Angel Grove, but instead Angel Grove is a small town, not a big city. There are some things the movie changes from the Power Rangers lure, but I thought that was actually a good decision because it makes everything seem more of like a cohesive movie. Everything is somewhat connected to the center of the story, making it, tight and make sense all around. And it just makes everything going on in the movie more relevant. The first third of the movie is obviously introducing the characters, and they make the characters real characters with real problems, real issues with family and identity, things that make sense for a teenager with a bit of an attitude to be going through, in opposed to having a bad hair day or the fact that Billy can't dance. So I really like what they did with the characters and how they come together and get to know each other, and then eventually come across all the Power Rangers stuff and the training and so forth and discovering their abilities. Comes off like a cool superhero film at first, and then at the end of the movie they get to their big climax with the suits and the Zords and the big monster battle. At that point, the movie pretty much goes full Power Rangers TV show. It copies the formula damn near to a T, and I think that fans will actually really like this because it really does have a lot of fan service. Even when they are fighting, you can hear them saying some cheesy things. The big issue I think some people and even fans will have some problems with would be that they don't get to any of that till way late in the movie. Definitely not until the third act. It's pretty much two-thirds build up, and personally, I think they went a little bit overtime with the build up and probably would have liked to see a little bit more action. Would have definitely liked to have seen more of the Power Rangers in their armor, and that's really one of my only complaints. And because I actually did like the characters and their stories, it certainly did not ruin the movie for me. And like I said, it does start off more serious with the introduction of the characters and so on. And then by the end of the movie, it's full on 90s. And that may seem like a weird or awkward transition, or even like you're watching two different movies, and that might not sit well with everyone. But whether you give it to the movie's credit or discredit, I think the movie is kind of kept together by its script. And I swear, from beginning to end, most of the dialogue and jokes are so corny. The people, they don't always act or talk like real people do. And I feel like that's what makes everything feel like it's in the same movie. I was laughing at how corny some of the stuff in this movie was, but I was loving it. I wasn't like laughing at it like, oh, this is such a bad movie. I was accepting what it was and I was enjoying it. Like, some things are super like over the top with reality. Like their high school detention is like so over the top with how the kids act and treat each other and talk to each other. And if that sounds bad to you, then you probably will not like this movie. If you're not a fan of the series, you might not care for this movie, and that would be completely understandable. I know that there were a lot of kids in the theater when I went to go see this movie, and they all seemed to love it. The hardcore fans, they seemed to like it for the most part. And the movie didn't bog itself down like trying to set up a sequel or anything, but it definitely still set up a sequel, if that makes sense. I think there really is more they can do with the characters and the lure of the Power Rangers. I think if they made a sequel, they would definitely ramp up the action. So I hope it does well enough to warrant that, because I would like to see more of it. But just know I thought this movie was pretty good, and that's really just my opinion. As I said, the characters actually have good backstories and story arcs that are believable, especially for a corny movie with 5 main characters. I would say most of the focus is on Jason, the Red Ranger, played by Dacre Montgomery. I thought he actually did really good. Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, played by Naomi Scott, and Billy, the Blue Ranger, played by C.J. Seiler. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing half these names right, but they are both great as well. Then you have Zach, the Black Ranger, played by Ludi Lynn, again, I'm sorry, and Trini, the Yellow Ranger, played by Becky G. They do a good job as well. I bought their chemistry and their characters, even though they have some cheesy things to say. But I feel like all 5 actors do a pretty good job selling it. Elizabeth Banks, she plays Rita Repulsa, and they've changed up her character a little bit from what it is in the show. And I think story-wise, this was actually a pretty good move. Elizabeth Banks, for the most part, has a pretty good performance. It's a little over the top, and there's a few lines where I'm like, okay, pull it back just a little bit. But overall, I thought she was pretty good. Bill Hader as Alpha 5 was good. I was afraid he was going to be annoying as he is in the show, but far from it. Bill Hader is a funny guy, and his lines and his delivery always seem to work for the most part in this film, even when he says a certain classic line. And I actually really like Bryan Cranston as Zordon. Cranston is one of my favorite actors today, and I was just happy the fact that he was in the movie. I like that he had this big curved screen and was able to move around it and talk to each ranger more directly. And I thought just that gave his character that much more personality. The action and effects I thought were good. Like I said, the big action scene doesn't come till the very end pretty much. Other than the time that they spend fighting on screen, I thought it was pretty well done. It was fun. I just wish it could have been a little bit longer, or at least another scene of it. But I like the fight scenes and the action scenes. I thought it was cool seeing the Zords and Megazord done in today's graphics. I thought the armor looked cool, especially in action. It seemed like a necessary upgrade. Goldar I thought looked fine. His character, however they want to do it, I can take it or leave it, really. I don't care so much. And before they even get their suits, I thought the scenes where they're like discovering and messing around with their abilities, I thought that was fun too. So again, I have to say I had a lot of fun with this movie. It took me back to my childhood more than I thought it would, and that was fun. You know, I'm not saying this is a great movie. I'm not saying you'll like it, but if you have an open mind, you just might. If you like, cheesy, over the top action, then you probably already like Power Rangers in the first place. But if you're into that, I would definitely say check it out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. There is like a mid-credit scene that if you're interested, I would definitely stick around for. There's nothing at the very end, so don't wait for that. But yeah, that's how I feel about the new Power Rangers movie. Like I said, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. This is AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hey guys, did you like this video? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, click right here on this icon to become a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, don't forget to ring that bell so you can stay updated with all my videos. And if you want to see another video just like this one, click right here. And as always, thanks for watching AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation.